All right, bag 14. Here we go. This is one of the slightest bags that I've seen so far. Not really too much to it. I really think that this bag's one of its only purposes is to just finish out Buzz's bedroom. And that's pretty much it. But we'll see. Maybe there's a little bit more to it here. All right. Okay. Ready to roll. I think that this is Buzz's bed that we're making here, but I could be wrong. At least I think that's what this is. Pretty funny so far. The one we looked at earlier, the parents' bed, was absolutely hilarious the way it was made, and this is also incredible. I'm really impressed by these like tiny mini builds. They're able to convey a whole lot, especially the kind of rounded off lines. There isn't a lot of sharp angles on something like this. It just looks like an unkept kind of bed. I mean, imagine how boring the set would have been if they were like perfectly straight little beds. Okay. Just place the bed there, and there's the BB gun or whatever right above it. Looks like we're making the desk in the room now. So looks like we're going to be doing some stickering as well. Okay, for this, it's going to be Duncan's Toy Chest. We have a definitive Home Alone 2 reference here. That's nice. There may not ever be anything Home Alone 2 that they come out with, but at least they were able to kind of throw in an homage here, so that's nice anyway. And, you know, I don't expect for there to be a Home Alone 2 set of any kind, but you never know. Maybe they're working on it as we speak. Maybe the sales from this were so great, they're just trying to come up with something. Yeah, that's pretty good. Rare first try there. Well, this is a cool little lamp here, like a desk lamp. It works really well, what they did. Okay. We'll put that off to the side here. Okay. And it looks like now we're building like a little chest. And this should go, I think this is what Kevin gets into in Buzz's bedroom when he opens up that giant chest. It has all that stuff in it. We have a little heart we're going to put in there. All right, we have the lock for the chest there. And it looks like we just connect. Yep, it's kind of a lid. It just sets on it and locks in. Oh, okay, so this is like a little like rolly office chair that goes with the desk. At first, I didn't have a clue what I was building. And this will plug into the little black circular base that we had there in front of the desk. Oh yeah. Ah. So this can swivel as well. Okay, great. All right, time to build a Lego toilet. Always a highlight of any build. This is, of course, for the bathroom, which is kind of incomplete as it stands. Okay. Kind of see the start to the shape of a toilet here. Some weird colors going on for this toilet. It was a different time. The pink toilet seat here. That's right. People ask me, well, what did you do yesterday evening? Well, I built a Lego toilet. Life is pretty much complete. All right, that plugs in over there. Oh, okay. This is like a little stepping stool that Kevin has to get on to get in front of the mirror to get the aftershave lotion on. At first, I was kind of looking at it, and it was like a little brown block of something in front of the toilet. And I had some other thoughts, so I'm glad that I was able to suss out what it was supposed to be. Thank goodness. 'Cause I sort of thought that they'd gone to kind of a weird place. It's the last thing you want to be building in a Lego set. Okay. And this is another little lampshade done the same way as the one we did earlier. Oh, wrong one. It's this one. Okay. That looks pretty good. And this just goes outside of Buzz's door. Now we're actually going to put in the door to the front of the bathroom. Thought we were going to have an open floor plan there for a few minutes. I thought, well, the bathroom's just there. This is funny how much of a scratch there is on this door. Every now and then you'll get the big pieces from Lego to where it looks like it had a pretty rough time at the factory, so definitely the case there. Not that it's a big deal, but still. Close that. There we go. It's great to see everything kind of get sectioned off. But I do appreciate that the building, like the actual rooms, is kind of done first before you section the stuff off. Because can you imagine having to try to like fit your hands into the little areas and then try to build the stuff? It would be horrible. It would be absolutely horrible. All right, now we're just kind of finishing out these walls. There's really not much left to this particular bag. It's very slight on this bag. I thought some of the others were slight, but man, this one, there's not much going on. Once again, a good time to kind of remind everyone that there's, I think, 24 bags. So this is set up like an advent calendar in a way. So if you wanted to, and that was your thing to like do the whole advent calendar building process through December on the McAllister house, I mean, there's worse things you could do, I guess, as an advent calendar. It's pretty cool. Of course, there was never any way that I was going to wait it out and do it like that. I mean, I was going to get it built just as soon as I reasonably could. So, but if anybody wants to show a little restraint and kind of build it like an advent calendar, it's not a horrible idea. Let's get kind of a higher angle on what we have going on here. Yep, not a horrible idea. Of course, they have Lego advent calendars, so I suppose if you really wanted that experience, you could just buy one of those. I've actually never bought a Lego advent calendar. I don't know if any of you all have, but I just haven't. I don't know why, or I always intend to. I should probably buy them when they get really cheap, like right after Christmas, and they're trying to get rid of them for like $10 or $15. Say like a Meijer or something. That seems to be the ideal time. At least I would think it would be. All right, now we're just kind of finishing out some of the tops here with the black trim. A little bit better angle on that now. There we go. There we go. Great. All right, so I think this is the actual first building of one of the traps. I believe that we're actually going to start building some of the paint canisters that are rigged to the banister. Is that the right word? Banister? On the stairs? I don't know if it is or not. Okay. So I believe this is where it's the paint can is going to hang from, like this kind of wire here. You know, as a kid, it's really funny, and it's still funny as an adult when the paint cans hit Harry and Marv. But, you know, as an adult, you also sort of start to question, like, wouldn't that, like, break their necks from the kind of distance? Like, they would absolutely just snap their necks. I don't think there would be much left of Harry and Marv. You take, like, a fully loaded paint can swinging from that distance. Oh, I think I put it on the wrong way. Okay, and the top of it goes here. Then we just attach the wire to the top of the paint can. Then I think this just pegs in so that it can just set up here as if Kevin has not pushed the thing down yet, I think. So there we go. So the paint can just kind of rests there. Okay. And then that goes at the kind of entrance of the staircase there, which from this angle, like when you don't have it attached to the rest of it, it just kind of looks like it's setting in the hall. But I assure you that is the beginning of the staircase. All right, so that's actually it for that bag. So let's move right on to the next. Looks like the next bag actually kind of tries to finish out the front of the house on the second floor, or at least half of the front. Bag 15 here, and onward. I keep seeing more and more ads and promotion for Home Sweet Home Alone, like the new Disney Plus Home Alone movie that they're going to be promoting this year. I think it may actually come out on Friday. And I still can't believe that somebody thought that was a good idea to do that. But you know what? I'm sure a lot of people are going to watch it on there. So I think the name of the game with some of the streaming service content is if you can do it cheaply, and yeah, I know, right? I don't think I will either. I think the name of the game is if you, like, you can do a project like that cheap and it has some kind of name recognition, then that is what you want to do to like bolster your streaming service. And it's really easy with a property you own, especially if you're not putting like any money into it. I'm not saying that they for sure cheaped out on Home Sweet Home Alone, but I have a feeling maybe. And you know, with the way that these corporate guys think, you never know. Them greenlighting this Lego set and actually approving Lego to use this license may have only been a result of them wanting to somehow use it as a tie-in for Home Sweet Home Alone. Because the timing is there, like, for sure. I would hate to think this set has anything, and I mean anything, to do with that project. Now, my hope is that I can complete the second story on the stream. Hope I can, anyway. If it works out, it works out, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But that'd be nice. I'd love to come to that as a stopping point. Okay, first things first. We have a little, I don't know if this is like a grate, like an air grate, maybe, if like for an HVAC system, but we're just gonna go with it. We have two little vents, maybe, in the floor right there. Now I'm building something I can't figure out what it is. It's kind of an abstract little mini build for now. I guess it'll become clear. For now, just monkey see, monkey do. Okay. Not sure what this thing is, but we'll find out directly. Oh, okay. I guess it's just like a little table setting. It's out in the hallway. So we've got a candle. And the candle apparently has a little like gold tray, circular tray it sets in. There we go, that works better. Apparently the candle goes here. And the other thing is some kind of plant. Some kind of little decorative plant. one of those lovely, lovely Lego leaf pieces. Good times. Well, if I can get it in there. Okay. We're going to say it's a poinsettia Christmas, right? All right, and I think a great deal of the other pieces are just going to be builds for the exterior, so we'll see. Okay, got This year I noticed Costco had some really good Lego deals going. I think this year Lego is a little more aggressive with some of their holiday promotions and sales, and that includes Amazon and all of that. I think stock in pretty well all the major toy companies really rose during the pandemic because I think there was a little bit more of that cabin fever. So people at home were trying to find something to do. So I think this year I think they know that they're going to have to try to recapture that because it may not be quite as easy. Favorite part of the build? Well, I think I really enjoyed doing like the kind of living room area with the fake Michael Jordan and the train set and all of that, and the Christmas tree, because you've kind of got a cross section of iconography from the movie in there. And there's something about just like building a Christmas living room that's really fun. I think it brings back memories for me. That was Christmas Central in my household, so. You know, I'm really looking forward to doing like the attic portion of it. when I was a kid, you know, we didn't have an attic or anything like that, so I always thought that that seemed really cool, even though Kevin didn't want to go up there. I thought that it was like something really neat to have in your house. So maybe that'll be something I look forward to. And this actually does include Kevin's treehouse that he kind of escapes to as a backup plan at the end of the movie. And originally, on the Lego Ideas actual set that the fan had submitted, there was no treehouse portion of the set. So that's something that they added, and I think they added the OK Plumbing and Heating van as well. So not only did Lego remain pretty faithful to that original submission, the fan submission, but they actually found quite a few ways to improve it and expand it. So there's really not a lot to complain about with Lego's translation of this one. Every now and then they kind of strip out some features or scale something back, but it definitely appears that wasn't the case here, and they just did everything they could to make it as great as it could be. So, all right, looks like we are going to be installing a couple of windows here, I think. These little windows are doing a lot of heavy lifting on this exterior. I'm glad they didn't try to do anything to like alter or attempt to spruce up like the exterior of the house. Try to make it more like toyetic, I guess is the term. That would have been the wrong move. Ever since I mentioned that on one of the other live streams, where I was talking about how I couldn't believe that there hadn't been like a retro Home Alone action figure line, it's something I've thought about a lot since then, and I really, really can't believe nobody tried it. Because not only would you have been able to have done, you know, different variations of Kevin and Harry and Marv, but you would have had the opportunity to have done like a playset with all the traps and things in it. And to me, that seems like kind of a no-brainer. So, who knows? Just to me, that just seems like a toy line Kenner would have wanted to have made happen. When you think about the other toy lines that they did, that were a lot more like out there than doing a Home Alone toy line. I mean, they did an entire Beetlejuice range of toys. Beetlejuice, just when thinking of just the movie alone, is not the first. I don't think action figures is the first place that most people's heads would go to. You know what this movie needs? Action figures. Of course, I kind of think that about every movie I watch. Most movies. Building another corner here of the exterior. Okay. We finish out the top with a couple of more bricks. Okay. There we go. Look looking slightly more complete there. And there's not much more of this bag either, so these bags are going very quickly. And we're gonna have another one of those joints where you can kind of open the thing up. Not necessarily. I'm sort of thinking about seeing if I can incorporate it into like the main Christmas decorations this year and kind of not just have it, you know, in the basement for Christmas. And it's one of those things where at least during the season, I'm going to make sure that it's, at least for the next month or so, you know, put in like a really prominent place that might be a temporary kind of area for it. But after that, who knows? I do have like a little section of bigger Lego sets in one of my shelves. And it's kind of like movie stuff, and the Ghostbusters firehouse is there, so I may kind of start, I guess, kind of a movie avenue of different movie houses. So maybe that would be the way to go for a long-term solution, maybe, possibly. But we'll see. Anything's possible. I like keeping my options open. All right, and this goes on the side here, so that it'll be able to fold out. And more windows. I'm still so impressed that earlier when I was putting together Buzz's desk here, that they have the Duncan's toy chest wrapping paper on this present. And it's great to see them actually do like a real homage to Home Alone 2. Yeah, Fictional Superbia. I think that would be as good a title for it as any. That would be a fun VR experience. I don't have any VR anything, but if you could have like a couple of different movie studios license out some things to be like, okay, what if we have like a fictional kind of like town with all these different movie properties in it that you can kind of explore? It would almost be like kind of a theme park-esque sort of thing. It might be fun. All right. So I missed a giant piece that was supposed to go back here, but thankfully it's just one piece. Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. What's funny is they tried to develop that Dennis the Menace movie um, as quickly as they could, because I do think that the idea originally was they were going to get, I think they were wanting to get Macaulay Culkin to play Dennis the Menace. But by the time the movie kind of got greenlit and development kind of started in earnest on it, he was a little too old. Talk about getting typecast, right? It's the great tradition of all child actors. They found a kid that was as Dennis the Menace as you could possibly get, and also as Kevin McAllister as you could possibly get. You know, honestly, I don't know what happened to that kid that played Dennis the Menace in the '90s movies with Walter Matthau as Mr. Wilson. Like, I have no idea if he ever did another thing in his life related to acting. I wouldn't have a clue. Might be kind of a Jake Lloyd situation where, well, you know, Jake Lloyd did Jingle All the Way. So I can't say Jake Lloyd did absolutely nothing else. He also got in a high-speed chase and got arrested a couple of years ago. Here's hoping he's not doing that anymore. In the meantime, Hayden Christensen apparently is just going to make a living now off of playing Anakin Skywalker, thanks to the Disney Plus shows. And that's cool. I'm all for it. I was big on Hayden Christensen in episode 3. I don't think episode 2 turned out that well. But I think he did a very, very good job in episode 3. And episode 3 has, of course, become Meme the movie now. And, you know, I think it's all in good fun. Love episode 3. Got to be able to laugh a little bit about this stuff. And we're just kind of finishing out the kind of like connectors on the roof here. Well, not roof, but the edges of the walls, I suppose, would be the right term. Well, not seeing what I need sitting around here. It's a mystery. Move on to something else for now. Here it is. It was behind the set. Okay. A few pieces to cover these up. Not exactly sure what's going to be mounted on these, but we'll see soon enough, I guess. And we're making some more shutters. Love the little simplicity of these shutters. Easy to put together, but they look so accurate to what we saw in the movie. Oh, I guess that's why it gets mounted on those. It's just where the shutters go. I should have known that. All right, so this just fits here. And this one here. We have a nice little completed section of the front. Oh, okay. And we have some kind of decorative garland going around the other side on the interior here. And I love that they didn't just leave it like this. They're making sure that the Christmas decorations kind of follows through. Because that is accurate to the movie, if I remember right, like in the shot where Kevin looks out the window and he waves at Harry and Marv when they're being arrested. I think that there's garland kind of trimming the window a little bit. I could be wrong though. Maybe I just inserted that in my head. And of course I love their kind of faux garland pattern going here. Okay, got that. Now we just have to plug it in. Yeah, that would be hilarious. I've always loved the quirkiness of them finding the gold tooth in the movie. It's just such a funny little thing. You know, it's only as an older viewer that it kind of dawns on me maybe why they have Kevin's dad finding the tooth. I think there might be an element in the movie of maybe possibly the feeling that, oh, well, maybe Kevin just like imagined all of this crazy stuff happening while his parents were gone. But then the gold tooth is supposed to be the clue that it really was all real and it isn't just him imagining or over-exaggerating what happened. I mean, of course, there's some reality to it because they're actually getting arrested. But then again, his parents don't seem to acknowledge much of anything about Harry and Marv being arrested, and they come in after everybody, the action has kind of dissipated. So at least that's what I think looking back on it, that maybe that's their way of solidifying it in reality. Being like, hey, this really happened. Would it be fair to say the tooth is the proof? Yeah, I'll get my coat. All right, so bag 16 looks to finish up level 2 of the house, which will make an ideal kind of final bag for this stream, I think. So let's get on with it. Like a tornado ripped through the McAllister home. Don't they live in Chicago in the movie? Isn't that the idea? I think. See, we have a blue race car driver helmet that has come in this bag. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, we'll go for it. So part of this bag, because this bag is fairly expansive in terms of what all is here, part of this bag is actually completing some of the interior details. Yeah, Chicago. That's what I thought. Like, this is supposed to be finishing out some of those walls. Just some of the stuff that other bags left out. It's funny, sometimes I can't really grasp the rhyme or reason for why some things are in some bags and in some they end up in another. I have a feeling it all has to do with production reasons, because some of it feels pretty random. But here, it does seem like there's some kind of artistic merit to the way they have the bags arranged, because how else would they have been able to have said, okay, well, let's make sure we do 24 bags so that it's like a advent calendar. That's definitely, you know, there's an artistic purpose to it. There's a pacing purpose to it. It's not just completely random and scattershot. At least I don't think it is. See, this kind of irritates me when they start putting in all these little square pieces that then you're supposed to put together for like solid surfaces on walls and things. Because what happens is they can easily get shifted like out of place, and then you're having to try to reshift them to get it all to be like flush. So that's all sort of irritating if you ask me, but who knows? Maybe I'm being too critical. Or not critical enough. I think that's my problem. Okay. Time to build another one of those glorious walls. The wall building is only slightly monotonous. Anytime you can say that, it's all right. I am glad that they've broken these down into more like bite-sized little like times when you've got to do this kind of stuff, where you've got little tiny pieces that are going onto backings and walls that you'll probably never see some of the stuff in there, but it's there for structural reasons. I don't have any problem with that stuff, but nobody's going to tell you that that's the fun parts of the build. I think what's really fun is we're wanting to get back to doing all the crazy mini builds and kind of interior stuff and movie homages, and who knows, maybe for somebody this is the part that they live for, the kind of more architectural aspect to it. Nothing wrong with that. If that's your thing. I just love interior builds. There's something about the design. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Apparently, on Friday, Disney Plus is not only going to release the hotly anticipated Home Sweet Home Alone, but they're going to be releasing a lot of the aspect ratios of their movies in IMAX, the IMAX aspect ratios. So you'll be able to see more of the movie than ever. Usually those IMAX aspect ratios were something you would only ever see in an IMAX theater, and a lot of the times they didn't even get a home video release. So I think that's going to be kind of a big deal. There's several of those I never got to see in IMAX. So it's going to be really fun. I think then they're putting Shang-Chi on there for Friday. I think it's all a part of their like big Disney Plus day where they're going to reveal a bunch of their upcoming projects. So. Yeah, yeah, they have. I've never been to an actual like real deal like IMAX theater, but now for some theaters like the Regal in Lexington, they have an IMAX room to where the screen is the right dimensions and everything to be considered IMAX. So a lot of the bigger event Marvel movies before the pandemic, that's how I was watching them. Is I would always be sure to get my tickets there so that I could see, the most crazy extreme version of the movie I could. That's how I watched like Infinity War and Endgame and a bunch of the big Marvel releases at that time. There's a bunch more I watched that way too. But it's great if you get the chance. I definitely suggest it. And a lot of the times, when these studios use IMAX cameras to film the movie, you're getting more of the picture that way. Now, I'll tell you something I would actually pay money to go and see, even though I've already seen it on streaming, is I really wish they would do a theatrical and IMAX exhibition of the Snyder Cut, the Zack Snyder Cut of Justice League. I would definitely spend money to go and see that, even if it was like a limited kind of thing where you spent more money on the ticket or whatever. Because I definitely feel cheated out of not getting to see that version of the movie in theaters. Surely one of these days, if Warner Brothers likes money, they'll do that. But, what can you do? Yeah, I think there's a really good reason for that, actually. And if I remember right, there's some sections in Richmond Mall that actually does have those little like, clear blocks in them. I'm trying to remember which part it was. I guess they're still there, like in some parts, but they had those clear, like little. It's just like what I was talking about on one of those other streams, where you would go into like beauty shops or banks or anything in the 80s and the 90s, and they would have, and Fayette Mall had a big bunch of them. I remember these big, like clear, like kind of frosted glass block divider things. Maybe so, maybe so. In my head, maybe towards some of that stuff like around the food court, or like around leading up to some of that, there was maybe a few of those. Of course, the fountain at that mall used to be something else. They used to put quite a bit into that, and now it's just a shadow of its former self. Fountain was extreme at one point when I was a kid. Water features used to be a really big deal at these malls and these kind of retail locations. It's funny to see how, like, that's the last thing that would get put in to something like that these days. Like a fountain, a wishing well. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And of course, things go out of vogue, things change. So, I just can't believe that mall's still open. If by open, we mean barely. Not trying to insult it, just being honest about the state of the mall. It's practically a dead mall in training right now, I guess. It's getting prepared. I was completely shocked when I saw a video randomly pop up on my suggested videos on YouTube. And it was a video of the Easttown Mall, or I think some people called it Knoxville Center. And I used to go to this mall all the time. Yeah, it is. I used to go to this mall all the time when I was a kid. And anytime we'd go to Tennessee, it was kind of like the mall to go to. And in my suggested videos, there was somebody doing an exploration of it. It was totally abandoned. They were going at night, and they were getting ready to demolish it. I couldn't believe it. That was supposed to be like the most primo mall. I remember it was fancier than the Fayette Mall, way fancier than the Richmond Mall. And it just, I don't know, kind of made me sad, but at the same time, it kind of tells you a little something about how out of vogue that really is. Like, I think we've kind of turned a corner on retail tastes. And, the mall is just not a part of that. I don't think it's a part of modern, like, retail culture anymore. You take a movie like Mallrats or something and show somebody that movie nowadays, like a kid or a young teenager or something, and I really don't think they would understand the culture of hanging out at the mall. I think now, I don't know, people watch something like, I don't know, Stranger Things or Fear Street or something. I think that's what young people, that's all I think they have to go on for what mall culture was. There's still plenty of malls, but they're dwindling a little. Kind of makes me wonder how much longer, like, the malls that we perceive to be untouchable, how much longer will they even be open? It's not a good time to own a mall. It's not a good time to be open in a mall. The writing's on the wall. In this case, the writing's on the mall. I didn't miss that piece this time. Good for me. Good for me. Okay. All right, time to make the little hinge that makes it open and close. There's really not a whole lot left of this bag. It's hard to believe that we'll have two completely complete levels of this thing done already. And I think once we kind of attach that second level to the top of the first, I think this house is going to start to feel a lot more complete and a lot more like kind of a complete playset, if you will. So it's going to be really exciting to see it kind of congeal and kind of come together. And that's still not, that's still not the whole enchilada because, goodness, we still have, an attic to build and a tree house to build and a pretty dramatic roof to build. So it's crazy just how vast this thing is. I wish that Lego had a way to be a little more aggressive in their promotion of sets like this one, where this is more like, their specialty kind of thing where it's adult aimed. This isn't going to get the promotional dollars or anything. But I'll talk to people, who aren't really into the Lego fandom, and I'll be like, yeah, I was putting together a Lego set of the McAllister house from Home Alone, and they're shocked that it even exists. And I actually do think that there would be some like I was saying though, I do think that there is a market for this kind of set, for a beloved kind of property like this. I don't think that it's just exclusively adult Lego fans. I actually think that if you promoted this and if it had some kind of retail presence, maybe at Target or something, and some of the idea sets do come to Target, I think it would be kind of a big Christmas item because I think the way to promote it would be to be like, hey, this is like a family project where everybody works on it through Christmas, and definitely promote it as the, I guess as the advent calendar kind of thing. Like that would be cool. I just think that would make it a little more palatable to people, a little more event-esque, I guess, if you will. Potential of Lego is really unlimited in terms of what you can do with it at retail. I mean, if you look at some of the sales that they're pulling down, just by doing like specialty stuff that they're not even promoting, it's really just untelling the potential of what they could do. All right, get that. Lost a few pieces back there behind it. Yeah, when I'm done with this, I definitely want it to be a Christmas decoration. Don't know if I'll get my way on that. I think it would look great. It's a big like Christmas centerpiece. What family doesn't want a Lego McAllister home just like smack dab in the middle of all their Christmas decorations? Right there for God and everybody to see. Welcome to our home. This is a Lego representation of the McAllister home from Home Alone. What a conversation piece. I I mean, they may not talk to you anymore, but it'll be a great conversation piece for about 15 minutes before they make an excuse to leave your home or cancel the dinner. The perfect item for people who don't want any social interaction from normies. It's like, you heard about this? You seen this? Okay. And once again, we prepare it for the shutter attachments. We just block off each part. Little flats. Oh, you know, if they would just do the What About Bob set, then I'd be happy. They're the vacation house that Richard Dreyfuss owns. You could do the cabin. Honestly, as long as I get a Bob minifigure, you could build like a fish tank that goes with them. You can have a little baby steps book. Apparently, Bill Murray was incredibly awful to work with on the set for What About Bob? But Bill Murray has totally brushed that off because Richard Dreyfuss has accused him of being just an absolute bully and just a horrible person on that set. Bill Murray said something along the lines of that being just like the way that he was trying to get Dreyfuss into character to like hate him. Must have worked pretty well, I guess. And Lucy Liu was complaining about Bill Murray a little while back too. She said that he just completely disparaged her on the set of one of the Charlie's Angels movies. If you remember, Bill Murray was in those movies. I think he told her that he didn't understand why she was there, that she was just talentless or something like that. But I mean, I have a feeling Bill Murray is a really, really mean Joker. I don't mean the DC Comics character. I think he's just trying to get a reaction, and he just says horrible stuff sometimes. I'm not excusing it, but at this point, I would say Bill Murray is more of a force of nature. But Bill Cosby proves that you're never too old to be canceled. So watch out, Bill. Don't get canceled on the eve of Ghostbusters Afterlife's release. Don't let it happen, Bill. You can't be next. Well, he could be next, but still. All right. So we have a completed, more like front facade of the house here. Now we just need to kind of work on getting the top portions done. And then we have a whole bunch of these white flat pieces. They're going to make up kind of the modular top of this. So let's get down to business on that. I think this will go pretty quick because I think it's pretty dirt simple, but still. You know, I can't imagine there being a better gift idea for someone who loves Home Alone. Like, this is the ultimate Home Alone, like, Christmas gift. And in my case, Christmas gift to myself. Oh, that's so sad. I like the white because even though this is an interior beat that you're not really going to see all that much when it gets put together, it almost gives it a little snowy appearance. That's what we're going to say, even if that's not the intention. Of course, what's great is that we will be building some, we already have some on the front. There's going to be some snow like on the house. You know what's funny is, as a movie, like narratively, Home Alone does not depend whatsoever on like it being Christmas. The story of the movie doesn't necessarily like need Christmas to be a thing in the movie. It just, I mean, you could do the exact same story without Christmas, but it just loses a bunch of the resonance, I guess. If that makes any sense. It wouldn't be as great without the Christmas aspect, but it's still worth noting that it's completely just background in the movie. They do some good things with Christmas as a theme, but it's not like it's essential for what the movie's trying to do. Okay. Just trying to make sure I'm doing this right, because there's two different sizes of these, and I'm worried that I'm using the wrong ones. Okay, here are the two smaller ones go on the side. It was just on the next page. Yeah, exactly. It would be the one difference. You know, I bet that if we had access to all of the crazy pitches and ideas for Home Alone 2 and what it could have been, I bet it would be mind blowing. I bet that when they were trying to figure out how to capitalize on Home Alone, I bet they had some absolutely bonkers ideas for sequels because that's just the way of Hollywood. And this will be another one of those like interior wreaths that are hung up from like a support beam. Okay, and this giant thing gets just laid in right here. And this is apparently why we had the little like gaps between parts of the walls so that this could just lay between it. So I was starting to wonder about that. I guess I should have known there would have been like a rafter of some sort. Not a raptor, a rafter. Although I should take one of my Velociraptors and just put in here. Got plenty of Lego Velociraptors laying around. Okay, and I think the last pieces for this bag is just us getting the white on here for kind of the modular sliding plates for when you detach this from the roof section, or the attic section, I guess. So we'll go here. It's just a matter of going through and getting these laid on, which shouldn't take too long, I don't think. Okay. Goof that one up. I get right at the end of this bag, and I absolutely can't get this part right. There we go. I think it just needed one of these. Surely, I've got it now. Maybe, possibly. We'll see. Okay. That's when you can tell it's getting late. Okay. Love it. So the last few little things that we have are actually some extra things that goes in Buzz's room. Because I thought this was looking a little bare, because you remember in Buzz's room, it's just absolutely full. So the helmet actually goes on top of the shelf. And then there's this, which uses this sticker. Oh, yeah. Those are the firecrackers. Yeah, I can tell now. Took me a second to kind of look at that and figure out what it was. Get my trusty tweezers out here. Okay. Yeah, that's what Kevin lights to make the pizza guy think that he's shooting him up, which is kind of devious. Maybe Kevin needs to see some sort of professional. I don't know. As a matter of fact, I know Kevin needs to see a professional after the traumas that he's been through. Oh, yeah. And here we have some money. And this, if you remember, he took some money from Buzz's stash, and that's what he used to go to the grocery store and to buy stuff he needed. Let's see. Okay. Now we just need to attach it to the house, and we'll call it a wrap on this one. So let's just get it to where we can see. We'll zoom in slightly. There we go. Of course, all this stuff is probably prone to falling right off that shelf, because some of that stuff on Buzz's shelf didn't actually get locked in. It's just sitting there. Just give it a press. There we go. Hey, this is looking kind of complete. I mean, aside from the roof, you can take the camera here and it's done, right? It's just when you go up here, you got a little problem. Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna turn that around and see it from the different angles here. We still there's going to be something else that goes here. Of course, there's an attachment here that's going to be pinned in. Okay, that's looking great from every angle. So I wonder, so if this is pinned in, yeah, even with that on the top of it, you can still open this up. And even with this, you can open this up. And wow. Okay. I knew it would be cool, but gee, that's a lot going on. Man, those guys at Lego, it's just getting better and better. Man, unbelievable, unbelievable. I think in order to celebrate this, Kevin is going to take the boggin off, and we're going to get him in his regular hair here. Because for some reason, that is how he's choosing to celebrate. I think we should put Kevin here in the bathroom where he's just used the aftershave and has burnt himself. Well, what I like is that there's so much of an opportunity for you to open it all up, and it's not completely a dungeon or anything, you know, because you can get some light in there. And of course, this can lift off really easy. So yeah, this is great. Everything looks awesome, and I'm really happy with it so far. So let's get this closed up. Looking good. All right, friends. Well, that'll do it for me for tonight. Of course, I'll be back in the next couple of days, and we'll start on that third story with the attic and everything. So at least that's what I think we're building next. We'll see. All right. God bless you and yours. Thank you for watching. Take care. God bless, and I'll see you